everyone, good morning. Thank you for tuning in today. I am Jessica from 20dishes.com, and today I want to talk about healthy fats, and I'm going to answer the question of whether or not I eat canola oil. So while we're waiting for people to kind of jump on, I have a question for you. I would like to know what your favorite healthy fat is. Or if you're new to the whole healthy fat discussion, then definitely stay tuned because I'm going to go through kind of what healthy fats are in this video. And I also wanted to kind of introduce to you guys 20 Dishes. So we have a mission that we are on. We are on a mission to change 1 million lives through real food. So 1 million people's lives through real food. So the company was founded by myself, my friends and partner Orletha Smith, and Kelly Bajelli as well. And the three of us all came together, and we have had amazing things happen through, changing our diet and eating real food and making that a focus of our lives. And we knew that we had to help other people do the same. So 20 Dishes was born in a way to help people eat real food, eat healthy, and stay the course. Because what we were seeing in our own communities is that a lot of people find that healthy eating is too time consuming and it may be too expensive, or whatever it is that it just doesn't fit into a really busy life a lot of times. So we knew there had to be a better way, came up with 20 Dishes, and so now we're on a mission to show people that eating healthy doesn't have to take a lot of time. We can make it really simple and make it sustainable for the duration of your life, because eating real food and eating healthy is not just a fad. It's not a diet. It's something that we just need to do. We just need to nourish our bodies with real food. We put good stuff into our bodies, we're going to get good stuff out. So I hope that you will help us in furthering our mission of helping 1 million people by sharing this video. If you find it useful, share it with your friends and family, or someplace on social media if you're using it. Really help us further our mission. And it also lets us know that these videos are helpful for you, and encourages us to keep producing more of them for you. So I see one comment from 20 Dishes for butter. I have to say my favorite healthy fat is probably by far butter. I would say coconut oil or avocado oil probably comes in second, but butter is by far in the lead. So when it comes to healthy oils and healthy fats in general, there are a ton out there. There's lots and lots of variety to suit your needs. I'm going to talk about specifically I guess I have 6 oils right here that I use in my own house. So there's a lot of other ones that I don't use, but some healthy oils can include, butter, ghee, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, lard, tallow, duck fats. Traditional oils. Essentially, we want to look at the fats that were being used traditionally, and we want to use those same fats. So for a long time, saturated fat like butter and coconut oil has been vilified. It's been the devil. It's been the cause of heart disease and high cholesterol, and don't you dare eat saturated fats because it's terrible for you. Well, if you go back and actually look in history, that decision that saturated fats promoted a rise in cholesterol, which promoted heart disease, was actually based on really, really bad science and politics. So if you spent any time in the real food world or in the nutrition world, you can quickly see how our nutrition recommendations today are highly influenced by our government. And there's a lot of special interest involved in our government. We've got subsidized agriculture. So there's just this whole huge thing. I won't even go into it. But nutrition as a whole, as what we see in our own society today, especially in the United States, is really highly influenced by the government. So anytime the government is involved in my nutrition, I tend to want to take a step back and really research and find out what might actually be the truth. So if you are not familiar with the transition, there's some movement in in mainstream media, because Time published an article, I think it was last year, about saturated fats and about how it had been unnecessarily villainized for the last 4 or 5 decades, probably, maybe even longer. So saturated fats are not bad for you. They're actually very good for you, and they are very heat stable because of the way the fats are created. So they're very heat stable. They're great for cooking. So what we see is a lot of the oils that are very common, very popular on the market, like soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, all the gazillion other ones. There's also, you've got your trans fats and stuff like that too. Those oils are mostly omega-6, full of omega-6s, and the omega system in our body, essentially, it's a delicate balance. We want to have a balance between omega-3s, omega-6s, and omega-9s. But what seems to happen with people who are eating more of a standard American diet, or maybe have a diet full of, processed foods, or maybe they haven't switched over to healthier fats and they're still using corn oil and soybean oil and stuff like that, is they tend to build up an overabundance of omega-6s in the body, which leads to inflammation, which can also lead to inflammatory disease, because really at the root of most disease, inflammation plays a serious role. So what we want to do is kind of steer ourselves away from using a ton of omega-6 oils, which is your vegetable oils, your soybean, canola, corn, that kind of stuff. And go more in the direction of some healthier, more saturated fats or animal fats if you want to use those in your diet as well. That way you get a good balance and you're not overloading your body in one direction. And it's not just necessarily the fats, like it's not just cooking with canola oil or cooking with corn oil. If you're eating a diet really high in processed foods, that's going to aggravate inflammation in the body as well. So, like I said, saturated fats are definitely more stable when it comes to cooking. So I'm going to kind of talk about some of my favorite oils and kind of how I use them in my own home. So the first that I will talk about is, yay, butter. Butter is the best. So butter, fantastic. It's a great source of some pretty vital nutrients. I use the Kerrygold. It's grass-fed butter, so it comes from grass-fed cows. If you can't, grass-fed is going to be better because it's going to be higher in nutrition. But if you can't afford grass-fed, or it's not in the budget right now, just get butter. Skip the margarine. Put that stuff away. I won't name names, but skip the margarine and skip the fake butters and just get butter. It can be just your regular old butter at the grocery store. It doesn't even need to be grass-fed. Making that one switch alone can do great things for your health. If you can work it into the budget to get grass-fed, then that is awesome. Kerrygold is actually really affordable if you go to Costco. I know most Costco's seem to carry Kerrygold. One of these, this comes in a 3-pack at Costco, and it's $7.99 when it's not on sale, but they just ran a sale a couple of weeks ago. So I bought like 16, like a full case. It was 16 3-packs. So I have butter in my freezer for a very long time now, maybe, but we eat a lot of butter. So butter freezes really well, so you can stock up if there's a really great sale, stick it in your freezer, and you'll be fine. So butter is fantastic. You can use it for cooking. You can use it just to top foods. I mainly use it for topping foods. Sometimes I will mix a little bit of butter and avocado oil just to give kind of that salty, buttery flavor, depending on what I'm making. So butter, thumbs up. The next oil is coconut oil. I mean, coconut oil is all the rage right now, so it has been for quite a while. Coconut oil is made from coconut meat. And it's a very heat-stable oil. You can get, this is virgin coconut oil. So there's 2 different kinds of coconut oils. There's going to be virgin coconut oil, which is going to retain the taste and the scent of coconuts. So it's great for, Asian ethnic cooking, Indian cooking. You get a little bit of that coconut flavor, very commonly used over there as well. If you really don't like the flavor of coconuts, then you can get a refined coconut oil. And you'll see a lot of people out there that say, no, never use refined coconut oil. Refined coconut oil is absolutely fine to use. It's not unsafe. It drives me crazy when I see people saying, don't eat refined coconut oil because it's terrible. The only thing I will say is when you're selecting a refined coconut oil, to make sure that you're buying from a company that produces it ethically and is not going to use, chemical solvents or chemical deodorizers and things like that. So I get my expeller pressed coconut oil from Tropical Traditions. It's completely neutral in taste and scent, but they use a steam deodorizing method. So no chemicals, no solvents or anything are used. So definitely keep that in mind. You could just call the manufacturer. They may even have it on their site. whenever you're selecting a refined coconut oil. But refined coconut oil is totally fine to use. It's just completely neutral, has no coconut flavor or scent to it. So it's great all-round cooking oil. And I use both virgin and refined in my cooking. So that is coconut oil. The next oil, let's talk about avocado oil. So this is one of the only like seed oils, I guess, that I actually use. It's very, very high heat tolerable. So this is a great oil to use for cooking. It's also super neutral in taste and scent, so it makes excellent mayonnaise. So I have used coconut oil for mayo in the past, but the problem with coconut oil, a lot of times, unless you get like the MCT oil, is that when you put your mayonnaise in the refrigerator, it sets up hard as a rock. So I actually prefer to use the avocado oil. You could also use extra virgin olive oil for your mayonnaise, but I'm not a huge fan of the olive oil taste. So I just stick with avocado oil for making homemade mayo whenever I do that. But it's a great all-round cooking oil as well. This is the Chosen Foods brand, and it has a smoke point, which is essentially your heat tolerance point for oils. Of 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can use it for your sauteing and stuff like that. So that's avocado oil. I just mentioned olive oil in general. So this is extra virgin olive oil. This is the Kirkland brand. When it comes to olive oil is a more delicate oil, so I don't really like to use it for cooking. I tend to use it just for my salad dressings or cold applications. Sometimes I'll drizzle it over something after I'm done cooking, but I try not to heat it up a whole lot because it's a more delicate oil. Also with olive oil, you may or may not have heard, over the last few years, there's been a lot of news about olive oil and just about how there's a lot of olive oil fraud. So certain manufacturers are maybe cutting their extra virgin olive oil or their olive oils in general with lower quality oils. So you could be getting olive oil that's been cut with soybean oil or has been cut with canola oil or whatever. So quality definitely matters, and brand selection definitely matters when it comes to olive oil. And the last time I researched, several months ago, Kirkland, which is Costco brand, was still coming up at the very top for purity. So their oils were testing perfectly fine, had not been cut with anything. So that's why I do buy the Kirkland brand. It is a little bit cheaper when you're on a budget if you've got a Costco membership. But if you don't, then just look around for a good quality brand olive oil. And there's a lot of small vendors too, like independent small farmers who are offering great olive oils. So maybe if you have somebody locally, I know that there's a few in California that you can go through, but just kind of ask around and do some research and see what brand works for you. So that's olive oil. The next one that I'm going to talk about is palm shortening. So I want to say a couple things about palm products in general. So palm shortening is fantastic. You can use it just like regular shortening. So like your Crisco. It's got that same texture, same consistency, so you can use it any way that you would use any other kind of shortening. But it's also very heat stable, so it makes a really great frying oil if you're making like fried chicken fingers or fried chicken or onion rings or something. This is primarily the oil that I use when I'm frying stuff or using really high heat. When it comes to selecting palm products, I will say you want to be super selective. Most palm products on the market are coming from the Indonesia area over east, and there's a lot of habitat destruction. There's a lot of animal destruction by the farming practices. It's very not eco-friendly. It's pretty gnarly. Some of you have probably seen pictures and information shared in your Facebook feeds, and it's pretty scary stuff, and it's just very unethical and it's horrible. So I source, the only place that I buy palm products is from Tropical Traditions. And the reason that I do that is because they get their palm shortening, they source it sustainably in small batches from small farmers in South America. So there's no habitat destruction, there's no animals being killed. They get their palm shortening from there. They do have a regular palm oil. I don't have my palm oil out there. I do use it a little bit, but it has kind of a stronger flavor, and it can, it's really, really bright orange color. So it's great. It has, beta carotene in it. So it's a great source of beta carotene, but it, can stain your food. So if you don't want your food to look orange, then you know, don't use it. But it is a good nutritional source of beta carotene and some vitamin E and stuff like that. So I do use it. I don't have it out, but but I do source that from Tropical Traditions as well, and I believe that oil comes from Africa. And all of their practices of harvesting and working with local farmers and stuff is all very sustainable and eco-friendly. So that's the reason I choose to source my palm products from there. The last oil that I want to talk about is toasted sesame oil. So most of your nut and seed oils, you'll see there's like pecan oil, there's walnut oil, there's macadamia nut oil, sesame seed oil, stuff like that. Most of your nut and seed oils are going to be higher in your omega-6s, but they also tend to go rancid really, really fast. So that's why I use them I buy really small bottles, and I always keep them in the fridge. So I guess I should mention that. I actually don't keep any of these oils that I've shown you today in the fridge. I keep my butter out at room temperature. All of my other oils, I keep at room temperature. If I buy a huge bottle of olive oil, like I just bought one of the gigantic, it's like, I don't even know how big it is, bottle of olive oil from Costco the other day, I will actually refrigerate some of that because I'm not going to use it super fast. So I tend to go through like these smaller bottles of olive oil and avocado oil and stuff like that relatively quickly, so I feel fine leaving them out. Palm shortening is super stable at room temperature, same with butter and coconut oil. There's no need to refrigerate those. But your nut and seed oils, if you want to use those, you definitely want to keep them refrigerated, and you only want to use them in cold applications or just for that last minute, like after you've already pulled your food off of the heat, then adding a little bit in there. So I really love toasted sesame oil. I don't use regular sesame oil for anything, but I use the toasted sesame oil when I'm making any kind of Asian cuisine. It just adds a really robust, kind of slightly smoky, toasted flavor to it. Very, very common in those dishes anyways, but this is a great way to kind of boost that flavor up when you're making it home. But I buy really tiny bottles. This is an 8-ounce bottle, and I keep it in the fridge, and you only have to use a little bit at a time because it's pretty strong. So those are the oils that I use. Like I said, there are lots of other healthy options that you can use too, but I would say the main thing to keep in mind is to just kind of avoid the common vegetable oils. So your soybean oil, your canola, your corn. It's been so long since I've actually bought like bad oils. I don't even really know what's out there. Margarine, your Crisco's, like those kind of shortenings, fake butter, just stay away from fake butter. So yeah, just stay away from all of those and start using some higher quality, more healthy oils in your diet. Changing the oils that you eat is the number one way that you can start improving your health. It's a really easy switch. It's very inexpensive, and it's a super easy way to just start improving your health, period. So as you improve your oils, your health is going to improve as well. Let's see, I have to look at my notes real quick. Okay, so the question, I know that I posted, do I eat canola oil? And I want to say one other thing about the canola, soybean, and corn oil. The other issue that you run into with those, despite the omega-6 issue and the inflammation causing problems that it can make in your body, is that a lot of times they are made using genetically modified organisms, so GMOs. And if you haven't heard of GMOs, then oh boy, I can't get into that right now. But I personally want to avoid GMOs whenever possible, so I just choose not to use foods that come from genetically modified organisms. So definitely something to keep in mind as you're reading labels and as you're selecting oils as well. So I know I mentioned, do I eat canola oil? And so the answer is yes, in very, very small amounts, and only GMO-free organic. And the reason that I eat a little bit of canola oil is because I don't tolerate eggs very well. And so I love mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is my favorite condiment. And unfortunately, I can't tolerate eggs very well. So I can eat a little bit of mayonnaise made with eggs. I definitely love making my own mayonnaise. I think the flavor is fantastic, but sometimes it does not agree with me. So there is a brand out there, I think it's just called Just Mayo, and it is completely egg-free, but it is made with canola oil, but it's made with GMO-free canola oil. So I do use that a little bit here and there. I personally am okay with that. If you want to completely avoid it, then completely avoid it. But for me, I tend to keep my diet really low in omega-6 bad oils, that kind of stuff. I don't eat processed refined foods. So I'm not really worried about having a little bit of canola oil in some mayonnaise. It seems to work for me, and it also gives me that mayonnaise experience that sometimes you want, because sometimes you want to make like a turkey sandwich and you just have to have mayonnaise with it. So I do eat a little bit of GMO-free canola oil in my just mayo, but it's not something that I eat every day, and I don't eat a ton of it. So just trying to be honest there, but yes, I do eat a little bit of canola oil. So there's the answer to that question. Let's see, I think that is pretty much it for today. Hopefully this has been helpful. I would love to have you guys leave me any questions that you have about healthy fats or fats in general, oils, that kind of stuff. I'd be happy to answer them down below. And also, if you found this video valuable, or you know people who might benefit from it, could you please share it? That would be super awesome. Give us a like or some hearts or whatever you want. This just really helps us know that the information that we're providing to you guys is helpful and is resonating with you, and just encourages us to, you know, keep on trucking and doing these Facebook Lives every day. And then last thing, I wanted to mention that, you know, Over 20 Dishes, we're a meal planning site with a twist, really. We have a secret sauce that allows you to take your meal plan from paper to plate in record time, because to be honest, there are a gazillion different meal plans out there, but the issue that we were finding with our meal plans that we were just finding on Google was that it was sometimes difficult to get those meal plans done and on the table in the short amount of time that we had. So we created a secret sauce that helps us accomplish that. So now we can follow a meal plan, which is a total lifesaver, but we can also get it done and get people fed quickly. All three of us are really busy, and everybody is really busy. So that's the secret sauce. We would like to give you a free 5-day meal plan, so you can check it out, and you can actually download all 5 of our dietary styles. We have gluten-free, paleo, vegetarian, AIP, which is the autoimmune protocol, and then we have our clean eating, our classic clean eating, which is just clean food in general, but it does include things like grains and gluten and stuff like that. So I have a link in the video description, either above or below this video, where you can download your free 5-day meal plan. You can check it out, check out our secret sauce, and get to know 20 Dishes a little bit better, and hopefully come join our mission. So I will sign off for today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, because I think that Kelly is going to be doing a Facebook Live on doing homemade vanilla, how to make homemade vanilla. Makes an excellent gift, super delicious and super easy, and it actually saves you a lot of money too. So make sure you hop over and check that out tomorrow. I'm not sure when she's going to go on, but it should be a great video. Again, let me know if you have questions, and thanks for watching today, guys. I will be back again next week. Have a great day.